Hey, good morning, everybody. Sammy Thunder here. Welcome back to the channel. This is a rarity. Speaking of rare, because about to show you a rare card. But yesterday, I made a major pickup. Came in the mail yesterday. Arrived. I showed it off. If you haven't seen it yet, you can check it out now. I'll leave a link above. It's also going to be in the description below. It's the most recent video, obviously from yesterday. So there's that. But if you want to stick around, you can watch this one too, because I'm unveiling a second card. Very, very rare for me to get back-to-back cards, you know, consecutively in consecutive days. But lately, there's been just a number of big itemized cards that I've been wanting to add to my collection. You guys, and the one big one was the Willie Mays yesterday, and today is a Tom Seaver card. Now, a little bit of backstory, because I just want to quickly go through it. I don't want to drag this on, but this must have been January, I believe. I was at the White Plains show, and there was a dealer on Facebook, who had this card I'm about to show you for sale for a huge amount of money, and I think he was pretty firm on the price. But then at the show, the White Plains show, I ran into another Super Seaver collector, and he ended up buying that card. The guy who was selling it was not even set up at the show. I think he has buddies that he knows that set up at the show, but he must have sold it to this Super Seaver collector for like a significant amount less. So I was like, I remember walking out of the show thinking, my God, I would have bought it if that price was set for that X amount of dollars. I would have bought it. I was with Mookie at the time, and I think I was like just muttering under my breath, just like, oh God, I wish I would have done that. I would have done that deal. But hats off to that Super Seaver collector. He was able to get the highest grade of this said card that exists out there with PSA. So that happened back in January. Fast forward, Mookie again. There's a guy on eBay who's selling a bunch of these cards, different players. Gibson, I think he had the Nolan Ryan. I forget who else. Yastrzemski, maybe? No, Pete Rose. It was Pete Rose, I think. And I saw he had this card on eBay, but he was away on vacation for X amount of time until he came back on May 1st. And I was definitely watch listing it. So I watched it, and I got to a point where I'm like, all right, I got to make a move, because the eBay seller made an offer, or just like threw a general offer out there, and I thought it was a little too much, but I wanted to speak to Mookie about it, because I know Mookie collects a lot of the similar stuff, and Seaver guy, Mets guy. So I asked Mookie, I said, what do you think, man? Because I want to get his perspective on it. And Mookie starts kind of like calculating everything organically and just being like, hey, this one went for this amount. Why don't you just make an offer of this amount and see what he says? So I make an offer, and talk to the seller, make an offer, and we kind of go back and forth. It's very friendly, very cordial, and he didn't take the initial offer first. He wanted to think about it. And I'm thinking, oh God, this card's not going to survive the night. Although it probably would have. But I'm telling Mookie, I'm saying, oh, he's got to think about it, and I just kind of left it at that. And so then Mookie and I were discussing it more, and he said, well, what do you think is the maximum you'd offer? And so I told him the maximum offer, and Mookie was like, he'd be crazy not to take that, but. Nevertheless, I make the maximum offer. I tell the seller, I'm like, listen, I can't go to bed. This is like 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night when I'm working the next day, so I can't be staying up late. So I tell the seller, I said, hey, listen, I can't go to sleep without getting this card. I really want this card. I will make this final offer of X amount of dollars. Will you, can we make this deal? And the seller thought, he thought it was funny. He understood. He was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of where I wanted to be anyway. So we could do that. And I was absolutely relieved, made the payment, made the sale, and this was probably, I don't know, May 5th, so 5 days ago, and the card came in today, and here it is, guys. Really stunning 1972 Venezuelan stamps, Tom Seaver. When I talk rarity, like rare Seavers, this is one of the rarest Seavers out there. These are incredibly challenging to find. There are 6 copies of the PSA 1 that exist out there, and there's only one 2.5, and the 2.5 went to that Super Seaver collector at the White Plains show. But I'm so pleased that this came up on eBay. I was sitting on it, watching it, and it's obviously it's got its damage on the back, which makes a lot of sense. But you can, like, if you put this up to the light, you can't really see it here. Maybe I can put my phone up to it so you guys can get a really good idea of how thin the stock is. 1 second. Let's do this. Maybe you can't really tell. You can sort of see the stain or the tear on the back when I put the light to it. When I flip this around, you see how thin the stock can be, or the stock is in this. It's pretty cool. So very delicate, but for what it's worth, I mean, the condition on the Seaver is really, really nice. Despite the stains or despite the damage to the card, presents super, super well. And again, for what it's worth, I mean, this is a 7. There's only 7 of these that have been submitted with PSA. So trying to track these down, incredibly difficult. There's a number of other big names that exist. Are Nolan Ryan's in this set. Like I mentioned, Bob Gibson, Yastrzemski, Pete Rose. There's definitely other big names in there, but yeah, man. Like I said, back-to-back days of getting just massive Grail type like cards. I hate to say Grail because Grail indicates should just be like one card. So I will say just higher up PC cards that I've been tracking for quite a while. But super pleased. After not being able to get that card back, got this back in January, even though it was in a higher grade. Getting it in general is a massive plus to be able to accomplish this, to get this. So yeah, super pleased, and I'm still trying to learn more about this set in particular. Did some Google searching, but still have to dig a little deeper to get more information about it. So if you have watched the other video, of my other pickup, this is it right here, the Willie Mays. In case you haven't watched it or you have watched it, there's a little bit of a spoiler. These are the 2 massive pickups, literally back-to-back days. I mean, can't make this sort of stuff up. And if you haven't seen it, the back of the Mays has a stamp, Smider's Motor Sales, which I'm wondering if there's a connection. I hate to go from Seaver to Mays, but I wonder if there is a connection with this and the way these are distributed and sponsored, because American Motor, Company, AMC, I think it was American Motor Company, was responsible for distributing these and also being, I want to say they were a sponsor of the show, but they played a pivotal role, and I imagine they must have sent a bunch of these to, as promotional giveaways or give-outs to customers. So Smiders must have gotten this Maze at some point and given it out to a customer. That's speculation at this point. Anyway, this is it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Probably going to be it for me for the weekend, outside of For Collectors tomorrow, where I'll be joined with Jay, Steven with a PH, and Warren D. So looking forward to that. 9 p.m. I'll see you guys there. Have a good rest of your weekend. Take care.